Morning, guys. John here, Mr. Forex Fire. It is Monday, the 28th of February. So we're just going to have a quick look on the charts. I'm going to try and keep this short and sweet today, 15 minutes to half an hour if I can. We're going to have a look at the harmonic patterns again this week. Okay, so just going to open up. In fact, I'll tell you what we'll do first. We'll have a look at the fire trades. This is something that I call out on a daily basis on an afternoon within the Forex group. Let's just take a look because I just need to try and get one thing out there. Last week we had a fantastic week. Okay, so I'm just going to share the screen. Share. I only had one loser last week. Which was fantastic. And where I sort of had my worst sort of week was it was around about just after we first started it. To be fair, it was around about here. But here we had a nice run of greens, which is the profits. There was one loser last week, so it was that's 82.10. Sorry, I forgot to put that in there. So we do with that loss there, it did bring us back from 1,300 and or 20 pips, or 30 pips, sorry, to 1,290. So yeah, the fire trades are doing absolutely fantastically well. Again, we had someone in the group had passed the FTMO with using mainly the fire trades. So it just shows you the standard testament what these are. So going forwards, I'm just going to cancel that off, guys, just so you can see where I'm at with this, just to be transparent. There's a good hit rate on these, around about 85% winners at the moment, which is really good. We've got the HP V2 on here. Okay, just going to get rid of them tables. This is on the hour. It's the USDJPY. Let's put in the pattern. Okay, and what we see has been some movement already this one. Okay, so from there, do as I always do. I like to put where the B is, I like to put that 50% of the pattern. And then we can draw the pitchfork in. Okay, draw the pitchfork in. And also on Pepperstone, we want 315. Which is the account we'll be using forward testing. And on that, we are around about 40 odd pound in profit. Okay, so let's just get rid of that. Let's see if we can drill this down to the 15 minutes. Let's put these levels on. These are just the pivot points. Okay, look where that pivot point is for the 50%. It's bang on that pivot point there, and then we'll do the one below that. Okay, so we're working within levels. So the idea is, even though the harmonic pattern showing the fan going down, we've got levels of pivot points between. So as we've come down, we've come back up to retest. Let's just take a look. Let's get rid of that. Put another one there. This one here, I'll make red because that's our outer line. And then we can put the hull suite. That's telling us when there's a buy and a sell on a pivot point. Starting to shoot up through there. 5 minutes. So at the moment, I think based upon this, I would, because it's been a nice whipsaw here, okay? I want to see what these candles here do, okay? I don't want to get involved too much. I'd rather see a break out of here to what I'm looking at the moment. I would rather see a breakdown, come up and then down to this level, if that makes sense. However, we can take a look into higher up. We've got that's a big candle there. It's all being mitigated. And again, we spoke about this the other day. From there to there is mitigated as well. Pretty clean action coming down. Everything seems to be wicked back on its return. So we might start getting a candle coming down shortly, which sure enough, yeah. The reason this has come up on here, it looks as if it's because it's just come into taking an imbalance up on here. We might get a continuation down. Let's take a look. So I think what I'll do is I might actually get in on a sell now. 0.5. Dip the toes in the water. 0.2. Okay, so we're going to put our stop loss above there. Take profit out there. It does see on the oscillator a buy at the moment, but we'll see what happens with this. And I think I'll set sell limit here with another 0.2. So we're staging, what we're doing is we're edging in our trades, okay? And I'll take this one to run out here. So at the moment, we are nicely in profit at the moment for a couple of pounds. But if we do get the pullback, if we do get a pullback up into halfway, you'll notice this is halfway between these two lines here. It's going to get in on a deeper retracement. So as it comes into play, there's going to be bigger profits. Okay, so in fact, I'm going to pull this down to about halfway there. That'll give us a nice 20-odd quid profit. And I'm going to pause the video from there. We'll see how this runs, see if we can grab some profits from this. So that's the first trade set for this morning, and then we'll have a little look later on this afternoon. Okay, so this is all about obviously the pitchfork with the harmonics, but we're selling into and buying from either the full pivot point area or the 50% of the previous area. Okay, it's been serving us well over the last few days of last week. We are in 40-odd pound profits. And again, guys, I've got to stress, you don't need to look at this. It's seen it as a 10K starting point, okay? After all, what you are getting on a 10K FTMO, based it upon that, you would only get an allowance of $500 or £500 drawdown. So we need to treat the drawdown entity as the balance we're using, okay? So we need to build a pot on the equity of that. The more we build up on profits, the more we're going to have to be able to eat into. And you just have to stop looking at this as a 10K account. A lot of money, yes, but the specifics in the entity of it, where you have only so much of drawdown daily allowance, this is what you need to be looking at. It protects your account a lot better instead of you looking at this this 10,000 and then looking at it as a 1,500 overall drawdown. Look at it as the daily drawdown. You're going to last a lot longer in the game. Okay, so pause the video. We'll be back in a minute. Right, guys, get my video on here. There we are. So what I'm looking at is basically just 10 pips a day, to be fair. 10 pips a day. I've moved the stop there, the take profit a little bit further down. We got in around about here, okay? And the take profit, the 10 pips, is around about there. So I just take profit and drop it a bit further. That'll be around about the 10 pip mark. It's around about 10 or 15 pounds. And that's all I'm looking for each day to build a pot, to be fair. I mean, the other day, just before we were signing off, we had a good 10, 20 pounds, 15 to 20 pounds, I do believe. But at the moment, we are heading down. We've got around about 7 or 8 pounds there at the moment. We'll see what happens with that. But again, this is what we call smart trading, because even if this goes against us, okay, we've got a deeper discount here, okay. I only ever look to risk around about 0.5 to a 0.8 on a day-to-day basis. So we are staging our trading in on this. So we've got a 0.2 entry now, and then if it goes into a deeper drawdown, we've got another 0.2. So even if it hits the stop loss, overall we still only lose what we would have done on the one entry. It'll stagnate the overall loss, if that makes sense. Rather than it being a 0.4 here, you'll be losing a 0.2 to the full position there, and then a deeper discounted 0.2. So instead of it being a 0.4 and hoping for it to go here, if it does turn against us and goes here, you're not going to lose as much as what you would do if you put the whole the whole trade on the one area. The benefit, and a lot of people think it's a downfall, the benefit with this is, at the moment, this one hasn't activated, okay? But if this one, which is entered, okay, if this one goes straight to TP and this hasn't ended, it's still happy days, because we're still getting our target, which is the 10 to just over 10 pips a day, which is going to give us just over that tenner, you know? So that's the way I look at it. I don't get too despondent or too annoyed with it because this hasn't activated. This is our sort of area where we are bringing it back in. So if there's a bounce off the halfway, because 50% is a strong area in Forex. Doesn't matter whether it's a pattern, doesn't matter whether it's a zone, doesn't matter whether it's one candle. 50% of anything in Forex is a very strong probable number, okay? And that's why we've got a sell limit here. And again, it's starting to pull back towards that area. If we just zoom in on here, we can say it's very wicky this morning. Forex has opened up very wicky here on Monday. I don't tend to, or I don't like to trade too much on a Monday, if I'm honest, especially first thing in the morning. I normally like to wait until the afternoon, which is why I do my fire trades on an afternoon for the group. But at the moment, we're still in profit on this one. I'm going to pause the video. We'll be back to see what the outcome is going to be. The oscillator is starting to get a little bit more weaker. This is on the 1 hour, the 15 minute. It's still on the bar, the 5 minutes. Yeah, it's all there. Let's get this in here. We can see we've had a break and a retest of that zonal area. It's starting to come down, come out broke, retested on it, come back down. I do believe that this might push back up to hit that again before possibly then coming down to the 50% of this zone here. We'll see how it goes and we'll see how it plays out. And I'll be back in a short while just to show you the outcome. Okay, guys, speak to you in a bit. Hi, guys, I just thought I'd give you an update, okay? We started the morning, excuse me. We started the morning on just over the 10K, okay? We had $41 or £41 in this instance and 87 pence profit. Yes, it is demo. We are still using this technique to forward test everything just to show you how good it is. At the moment, we're in around about £5.50 odd profit. We've got a secondary entry if we do sort of go into the drawdown. Stop loss is just above the D. And I've got the take profit at the 10 pip area, okay? So, like I say, even if this one doesn't activate, but we get our entry, which is what we've got now, comes down to the take profit, it will end up at around about just over a tenner of profit, I do believe, which is what I would, at this stage, building slowly, don't mind taking. Build that pot £10 at a time, going into 2 or the 3rd week. And then what we should have is a good profit equity of around about 100 to £150, okay? From there, I'm just going to let this play out again. I'm just going to have a cup of tea. We are in a position at the moment on the 15-minute. The stochastic RSI has been oversold up on here. and it's starting to come down a bit. It's wavering about a bit, but the overall pattern is the USD JPY. We've got the 50% of the harmonic, but I'm not going that far. I don't want to go that far. Maybe we can target those areas when we start building these 10 pips up. Again, if we find that we're going into secondary option and things like that, maybe we can move, and they both come into profit. We can move one of the take profits to a bit further down. Once they become a risk-free trade, have one running at the risk-free, and then we could close the secondary position out. So not only are we in good profit on the secondary position, but the first overall position could be moved towards that 50% of the pattern, so we could end up with bigger profits. There's loads of different ways you can work these, to be fair, loads of different ways. And again, I'm going to be trying to go more in depth with that this week, okay? More so, I'm going to be doing a lot of testing this week, starting from tomorrow, start of a new month, with regards to staging in your entries, and then working these around a challenge. Okay, so I'll be doing videos on that as well. But at the moment, we're hovering around about £5 of profits, halfway to where I want it to be. It's only one entry at the minute. If we get that take profit, happy days. We just close it out for the trading for the day, and that's the video done. Quick, easy, and simple. Straight in the chart. Seeing there was a pattern there. Seeing the pattern had developed some movement. Okay, seeing the pattern had developed some movement, and we just basically overlaid that with things like we haven't even put on the Heikin-Ashi candles, to be fair. Heikin-Ashi, which are trend based. I've got a bit of a bad chest. I do apologize. Let's get the whole strategies telling us it's a buy on the 15-minute. A lot of wickiness, a lot of wickiness. Just going to put that on the blue, just so it's not going to move the charts around. We'll let that play anyway. I'll pause it and I'll be back in a moment, probably with a conclusion of what's happening today. Hopefully the area that we're getting in at holds, and it'll just come straight down and give us the take profits. If not, it's going to activate the second entry. I'll be back in a second. Here we are, guys. So you can see now we're hovering into the £10 of profits. We could quite easily close that out, but I'm going to go for the 10 pips, okay? The day-to-day run of what we do on this is we either go for the £10 of profit just to compound it up, or we can head towards the 10 pips, okay? I'm going to keep this on, going to keep it running because I want to try and get those 10 pips. I do believe it's going to bring it around about, say, £15 or more if we do get that. If it turns against us, we've got a second entry up here again, okay? It's all about just holding out and then waiting for this to move again. Overall, we've got the harmonic pattern again. We've got pivot points in these harmonic areas, okay? And the idea is if we get a break of a zone, we just get a retest and we can get into a trade, which is what we did up here. Again, if it started going against us, 50% of the next zone would be an entry area. So far, the structure's holding, it's playing well. It's doing as what we'd expect, and then hopefully in time we should get this move to here. If it does turn against us and it goes into a second sell entry area, we would then wait for one of them to come into profit, make them both risk-free, possibly then move into just above and take a few pips, but then we would move the other one into an area where we would possibly go for the 50% of the harmonic pattern, because the harmonic pattern area on the 50% hasn't been touched yet, which is this black line here, okay? But we'll let it play out. We'll see what happens. They'll go dropping down to around £11 now. We'll be back in a short while. So we are only just under a pip. Actually, we're just under 2 pips away from hitting our initial target. We're just over a tenner. So yeah, that does come into conjunction with what we're doing. I think what I might do here, because we're so close. We're so close on the profit, to be fair. We're only like a point Yeah, but you're looking at just under 2 pip of profit. So I'm going to wait. This goes back to a tenner. We'll close that out. So I'm happy with that. We've built the overall target by a tenner today. So I'm happy with that. Compound the profit bit by bit. The overall consensus of what's happened today, fantastic. I'm just going to go back onto the normal charts. Just bear with me so I can get rid of the noise. Whole strategy, and then up to that 1 hour. We'll get rid of that sell limit, cancel it. So yeah, overall, it's done what we needed to do. It was primed and ready. It's not all. It's, you know, we're not always going to get where the harmonics are going to be like that. But ideally, if we do have the X, A, B, C, and D played, and then we have a few hours worth of candles, it's always a good setup phase, because now we know what it's been done within its field of play on these colored zone areas. So today, waking up this morning and getting it set up has been fantastic, in and out. And I've literally done it within overall, an hour. You know, this video might only be about half an hour long, if that, but overall, it's only taken me an hour to get that prop that I needed today. Just going to stop the share a minute. And it's not always about getting the huge moves, okay? You only need at least 5 or 10 pips a day with a smart traded where we're looking at, yes, we've got an entry here, and we're dipping our toes in the water to take profits down here for the 10 pips. If it gives, which is what it's done there, we started with 0, we ended with 1, we've ended up with more profit. That's fantastic, okay? If it did turn against us, we've got our areas pivot-wise zoned within the areas of the forks, but within each of those areas, we've got a halfway point on the pivot areas, okay? We're waiting for these to come up, retest. If it breaks through, you've got a halfway point between the next fanned area, okay? Your halfway point would be your structure point to get in. It didn't need to activate that again, because I work upon either a 0.4 or I'd say between a 0.5 and a 0.8 of a total lot size each day. I put a dip of the toe of the water, which was a 0.2. I put a further one up for a smarter trade with a reduced risk to better risk to reward with a reduced risk. That was going to be a 0.2 Henry on the consensus that if it ended on the second one, we come so far down on the pips to where the next entry was initially, okay? Then we could sort of move that to above a break-even profit, let it run down. This one still activated, comes into profit as well quite heavily. Then what we would do is I would let the very first one that ran, I would let that get its 10 pips. I would then let the deeper entry go to the 50% of the pattern, because the risk to reward is far greater and you will get a bigger return, okay? I'm going to be going more into all that sort of stuff in the next coming days. I'm going to start off a new FTMO challenge, okay? I'm going to start off a new FTMO challenge, and then what we will do is we will do a day-to-day basis on that, but I'm going to incorporate those with the fire trades that I take, okay? So you can see the fire trades and how they sort of react, and how we can factor in the smart trading in on the fire trades with the smarter trading, if that makes sense. Hope you've enjoyed the video. Please comment, like, share, engage, hit the bell notification, subscribe. If you're not already in this Discord area where we learn together, we trade together, and we win together, please just comment whether you've seen this on Facebook, if you've seen it on YouTube, and I'll get you inside of there, because guys, it's a fantastic area. You've seen how well the fire trades are doing on my sheet earlier on in the video. Okay, guys. So again, thank you everyone for supporting what I do, and I'll see you inside the Discord. See you later.